shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. We believe in peace. We believe in peace. We believe in peace. We believe in peace. We will work for 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 peace. Jerusalem, Ramallah, in Tel Aviv, in Washington, in Bogota, Haifa, Fallujah, in New York City. We believe in peace. 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 Salam shalom. Peace, salam shalom. Peace, salam shalom. Peace, salam shalom. Thank you.
I want to start by telling you a little bit about just a recent news item that came across my email. And it was about a letter carrier in Iraq. And he talked about how the biggest danger that he used to face while doing his job was angry dogs or vicious dogs. And now as he tries to deliver the mail every day, he's facing kidnapped gangs, armed insurgents, and bombs. But yet he continues to do his work because he thinks it's important. He doesn't wear a uniform anymore because people in uniforms are as likely to shoot you as not in Iraq. His employer turns a blind eye to letter carriers carrying firearms as they do their job. And he starts his day much later now than he used to because the suicide bombers tend to do their stuff early in the morning, so he starts his day later. And he also knows which houses along his route that he can duck into if he gets into any danger. And I tell you this story just in case there was any doubt in anyone's mind in this room about why trade unions should be involved in the struggle for peace. Peace is a trade union issue and it is a working class issue, because we know that it's working class people who are sent to fight and die in wars. It's our children that are sent to fight and die in wars. And it's our sisters and brothers in other countries who live and work and love and raise their families every day in a constant state of war and danger. And it's their workplaces that are turned into military targets. So it's absolutely essential that we oppose war and absolutely essential that we struggle for peace. But how do we do that internationally? I've got a couple of thoughts to add to the mix, the ideas about how we build internationally. I had 10 of them, but I've whittled them down a little bit. I guess the first thing I'd like to talk about is global unions. And we're a member of a global union, Union Network International, and it represents 15 million workers in over 150 countries. And that's really, really powerful, and that's really a mass movement. And the global unions, or they used to be called international trade secretariats, they don't have a reputation of being hotbeds of progressive policies and action, but they're changing. Global unions are changing, and we're finding that you can push for progressive policies. Union Network International has passed resolutions against the war in Iraq, and they've passed pro-Palestinian resolutions. So that's an avenue for us to build internationally. As well, we need to work with labor movements in other countries that are mobilizing for peace, like U.S. labor against the war. I don't know why we can't form Canada, Quebec labor against the war and start mobilizing here as well. And I also know that a number of unions in this room have solidarity funds or humanity funds or social justice funds, and that's resources that we can use to build those links with workers in other countries. We have to continue to support countries like Venezuela and like Cuba that pose alternatives to the neoliberal agenda and to the war mentality. We have to mobilize in the streets, and we have to reach out to youth and to social justice activists, anti-globalization activists, and anti-capitalist activists, because when we're fighting against war, we're fighting against the capitalist agenda, and we have to build those movements internationally. Finally, I think we have to show concrete support and concrete solidarity with our sisters and brothers who are living in a state of war. And we have to stand by the courage of our convictions. And I want to congratulate CUPE Ontario for their resolution calling for a boycott against Israel. And I know that there's debate about the strategy, whether or not a boycott, disinvestment is the proper strategy at this point. But there's two things I think that aren't up for debate, and we've got to name them. It's not criticism of the State of Israel for their actions in Palestine is not anti-Semitism. And to label it anti-Semitism is how we're silenced, and we can't let ourselves be silenced anymore about this. The second issue that isn't up for debate, and Brother Heyman named it earlier, it's not up for debate that trade unions have a right to take this issue on, that they have a right to educate their members and a responsibility to educate their members and take this on. CUPE Ontario had every right to pass that resolution, and I think it was very courageous for them to do that. This is one of those difficult issues that unions grapple with, and I think it's really important that one of the ways we deal with this issue and build international solidarity is send delegations to Israel and Palestine. That's the most effective way to educate your members. I was there as part of a CLC mission a couple of years ago. We spent time in Israel and in Palestine, and I came back more convinced than ever of what was right and what was wrong there. And it is apartheid, sisters and brothers. There's no question about that. And just in conclusion, we've got a slogan in CUPW, and it's "The struggle continues." And international solidarity is hard work. Struggling for peace is hard work. But nothing that we do is easy, whether it be collective bargaining, whether it be organizing, or advancing human rights. Our movement was born out of struggle, and it continues in struggle, and we need to continue that struggle for peace and social justice here and around the world. Thank you. Is that fast enough?